When the dog's owner took it for a walk, the dog acted very strangely. Suddenly, it ran and started digging in the snow. However, no one would have imagined that it could save 2 lives. Some strange things happen in villages far from civilization, but the story of this dog is so unique you'd never believe it. One day, when his owner took him for a walk through the village cemetery, he suddenly ran to one of the graves. In a rage, he began barking and kicking. His owner had no idea what was happening. That day, 56-year-old Ivan went for his usual walk through the old town, where he was born and raised. He and his dog, Binka, walked leisurely through the abandoned land and ruined houses. There was an eerie sense of peace in this place, but also a touch of sadness. What was once a joyful city was now a quiet, desolate, and empty place. This can be easily seen in a cemetery, an ancient site filled with stone tombstones. Someone new had been buried, and it still seemed fresh. A few days earlier, a young woman from a nearby village had died. The town was so remote that doctors had a hard time getting there, and people were left to guess what had caused this poor woman's body to give up. It was an exceptionally sad case. The town had very few young residents, so this woman's emptiness was felt throughout the entire village. Ivan was walking his dog that day, and as he passed the cemetery, something very strange happened. Bink paused for a moment, stopped, and his ears perked up, searching for any sound. It jolted its owner out of his running rhythm. He went straight to the stone tomb that belonged to the woman and began digging wildly. Ivan was shocked and bewildered by his dog's strange behavior. His loyal friend forced him to follow him to the woman's grave. He frantically tried to stop the dog. "Down, Binka!" he yelled at her. But he didn't stand much of a chance. Binka was a big dog, and Ivan was an older man. His dog's strength and determination were unstoppable. Binka continued digging and barking as his owner tried to restrain him. Who could be this young woman's parents, and what would they think if they saw their daughter's grave in such a state? Think. Suddenly, Binka stopped kicking. He reached the coffin and looked at its owner as if sobbing. "You wanted Ivan to open the coffin." Ivan looked at his dog. He wondered if removing the woman's grave hadn't been enough. Now Binka wanted me to open his coffin. But Binka knew he couldn't stop. When he realized the owner wouldn't help him, he began tearing at the coffin with his fingernails. Ivan, confused by what was happening, tried to distract Binka with a stick. But then he heard something that sent a chill through his entire body. The sound was faint and barely audible amid the dog's groans and scratching. But right there, underground, a soft, dry tapping sound could be heard. Ivan immediately pressed his ears to the coffin, when suddenly he heard, "Help!" A muffled voice screamed from the coffin. In utter shock, Ivan stumbled. His eyes were full of fear and sweat was streaming down his forehead. Fortunately, Ivan knew how to break the coffin. As quickly as he could, he leaned over and tried to yank hard on the top of the coffin. The coffin was nailed shut, and it wouldn't be easy to open the door. He wasn't sure he could do it, but he didn't give up. The living woman, judging by her voice, was about to faint. He desperately needed oxygen, otherwise he wouldn't have survived. It was necessary to act immediately. Ivan quickly put his feet on the coffin door and managed to pull it open with all his strength until it broke. Coughing and gasping, the young woman sat up. He was drowning due to the very low oxygen in the coffin. Very carefully, Ivan helped the woman out and carried her in his arms to a small hospital in the village. Despite everything, there was only one question left to ask. How did it happen? There was no doctor in town, but she was cared for by several different nurses who had previously worked at the hospital. They thanked Ivan and Binka for their help as they examined the young woman. Apparently, Binka saved not only one life, she actually saved two. The young woman was pregnant and suffering from low blood pressure. She fainted because of this. The nurse couldn't feel her faint pulse, and they thought she was dead. When she regained consciousness, she explained that she had suddenly woken up and been buried in a coffin. She was very grateful for the help she received from Binka and Ivan, because thanks to them, she had escaped death and her son was also safe. Thank you for treading this trail of tales till we travel together again on another adventure.